You don't get angry like before. Not because you're calm, but because something in you stopped reacting the same way. Earlier, it was instant. Something felt off, and you responded. You explained. You defended. You tried to fix it. But now, there's a pause. A small gap between what happens and how you respond. And inside that gap, you're not reacting. You're watching. Someone says something slightly disrespectful. You notice it. But you don't jump in. You don't rush to correct them. Not because you didn't feel it, but because something in you asks, is this even worth it? And that question changes everything. Most people think this is maturity, but that's only part of it. Because this shift doesn't come from peace alone. It comes from patterns you've already seen. You've seen how some people never really listen. You've seen how some conversations always go in circles. You've seen how certain outcomes just repeat themselves. And once something becomes predictable, it stops feeling personal. That's the part people don't notice. You didn't stop feeling, you just stopped taking everything personally. Because anger was never just about the moment, it was about expectation. You expected understanding, you expected respect, you expected fairness. And when those expectations broke, that's when the reaction came. But now, you expect less. Not because you don't care, but because you understand people better. You see their patterns, their limits, their habits. So instead of reacting to every moment, you start reading the pattern behind it. And when you see the pattern, you realize, this isn't new. This is just them. And that realization softens the reaction. But here's where it gets deeper. This isn't just awareness, it's distance. Because when you stop expecting, you also stop engaging the same way. You don't argue like before. You don't explain everything. You don't try to make people understand you. Not because you can't, but because you don't see the point anymore. And from the outside, you look calm, unbothered, almost unaffected. But internally, you've just become selective. Selective about what deserves your energy. Selective about what deserves your reaction. Selective about who actually gets access to you. And that selectiveness looks like silence. But it's not silence, it's filtering. And here's the shift most people miss. This was never about anger. It was about control. Because anger feels like losing control. It pulls you into something immediate, something reactive. And after enough moments like that, you start pulling yourself back. You slow down. You observe more. You react less. Not because you don't feel, but because you don't want every feeling to control you. And slowly, this becomes who you are. You listen more than you speak. You notice more than you respond. You understand more than you react. But the biggest shift, you stop trying to change people. And once that happens, there's nothing left to fight. Because most anger comes from trying to fix something that was never in your control. When you let that go, the reaction fades. Not all at once, but slowly. And here's the truth most people won't say. Being unbothered isn't always peace. Sometimes it's distance. Distance from chaos, distance from expectations, distance from people who never really understood you. And once you see those patterns clearly, you can't unsee them. You notice who listens and who just waits to reply. You notice who respects you and who only shows up when it's easy. And that awareness quietly changes your response. So no, you don't get angry like before. Not because nothing affects you, but because not everything gets access to you anymore. And that's the difference. Your reactions didn't disappear. They became intentional, less automatic, more chosen. And that quiet shift is what people call never getting angry. But it was never about removing anger. It was about understanding it. And once you understand it, you don't spend it everywhere. You keep it where it actually matters. And after that, most things just don't reach you anymore. Once you notice this, you start seeing it in yourself and in others. And that awareness, it changes everything without making a sound. If this made something click for you, there's always more beneath the surface.